All right, guys, we're back with chapter 5. It is warm today, so I did ditch the sweater. In true form, I am keeping the wine. So we're on chapter 5. And just as a recap of chapter 4, we left off with Ava going to this church. We don't know what's happening in that church, but they're protesting all these things. It doesn't have a lot to do with like God, and the mom is not saying a whole lot, but Anaya is suspicious of her sister. I'm getting a feeling that there's something weird happening between the sisters, but I don't know. And then she likes the boy Carl. So we left off there. So we're going to start and just jump into chapter 5. My workload at the faculty office was especially heavy because the application deadline for the master's program was approaching. I don't know why I chose a deadline so close to finals because it caused twice as much work as normal. Despite the constant interruptions from the new office assistant, I managed to get through the day, albeit tired and grumpy. And remember, the office assistant is new. She doesn't know what she's doing and she doesn't listen. So I don't know if you guys remember that part, but that's the office assistant. Earlier that morning, Professor Alexander sent me an email inviting me to lunch. I was surprised, but I accepted. Turning down the boss for lunch doesn't exactly seem like a good idea, and even a short time away from work was appealing. When lunchtime rolled around, he came out of his office and we walked over to a tiny cafe near campus. "Thanks for accepting my invitation," he said as we walked. "Oh, thank you. But if you plan to fire me, you could have done that by email," I said jokingly. He laughed. "I don't plan on firing you. You don't have to worry about that. You're one of the best workers our office has had since I've been here." "You think so?" I asked as we went through the crosswalk. "Really?" he confirmed. I relished the well-deserved compliment. I worked my butt off in that office. When we got to the cafe, we sat in a booth near the window. I ordered a Caesar salad and he ordered a hamburger. "Have you ever been here?" he asked. "No, I normally bring my lunch," I said. "I'm a starving student, you know," I said with a grin. "Ah, a starving student with a sense of humor," he replied. The conversation was seamless. We talked about the office, our goals, law school, and family. For the briefest time, I almost forgot he was my boss. "Can I ask you a question?" he asked. My mouth was full of chicken and lettuce, so I nodded my head. "How do you like working in the department?" "Honestly," I asked. "Preferably," he said. "Yes." I chewed fast and swallowed a huge bite of chicken. "I like it enough. The pay's decent, but the work isn't all that interesting." "Have you ever thought about working off campus?" he asked. "No," I replied. Where was this leading, I thought. "Why not?" he pressed. I like the flexibility, I guess. I can schedule work around my classes and not the other way around. I like that. Is anybody else thinking this professor is a little bit too nosy? Like, what? Okay, is it just me? What if you found a job with all the flexibility you needed, which paid you more than you make now, plus medical benefits? Oh, okay, maybe I spoke too soon. Well, I would take that job into serious consideration, I said, narrowing my eyes. I chuckled, and he laughed a little too. There was a brief lull, and I quietly concentrated on my salad. I opened my mouth to say something, but thought better of it and continued eating. "What are you thinking?" he asked. "You really want to know?" I countered. I asked, didn't I? I blurted out, "Why did you ask me to lunch?" "Because you looked hungry," he laughed. "And by the way you were chomping down that salad, it seems as if I were right." I giggled. "Actually," he said, "I'm looking for a case clerk for my firm, and I think you'd be a good fit. You're a hard worker, and I like that." "So what do you say, Anaya?" "I don't know," I stammered, taken aback by his suggestion, which seemed out of the blue. I knew nothing about law and felt ill-equipped to be anybody's case clerk. I didn't even know what a case clerk was. "If you need some time," he offered, "you can get back to me when you've thought it over." I said tentatively, "It sounds good, Professor, but I've never worked in a law office." I like her honesty. "You have clerical experience and you're organized. You'll pick everything up fast." I don't know," I said slowly. "Just think about it," he said. "Do I need to apply an interview or something?" I asked suspiciously. "So this is your interview," he obliged. "Tell me about yourself." "Well," I said lamely, "I like volleyball clothes and peanut M&Ms." "Great," he said. "You're hired." We finished our lunch and headed back to campus. "Thanks again for your time," he said as we approached our building. "I'll be in deposition all week," he explained, "so I'll only be on campus for lectures. I do have a couple of assignments for you, though. I'll email you with instructions. I won't see you again until Wednesday after next, unless you'll consider having lunch with me again on Friday." "Can I get back to you?" I asked, wanting to think more about the job offer. He laughed, but I was serious. This professor. "You're funny. Okay, get back to me with your schedule," he said. "I'll send you an email." "You know what?" he said. "Why don't you take my cell number and just give me a call?" The rest of the day went fast. Our wonderfully incompetent assistant had to leave early, ironically, so I was able to get more done when she was gone. I felt good about what I accomplished in the day, and at the end of the day, and I headed home. When I got home, I saw Roscoe sitting in the den with the TV blasting, and I noticed that Ava had company in the dining room. I wasn't accustomed to Ava having company. It was a pleasant surprise, sort of. Hi, everybody, I said to Ava and her friends. Ava smiled at me from the head of the table. Hi, Nye. This is Camel and Noah from my church. Guys, this is my sister, Anya. What kind of name is Camel, I thought to myself. I see beauty runs in the family, Camel said. Thank you, I said, unaccustomed to being flattered. Ava smiled. What are you guys up to, I asked. Just discussing one of the greatest gifts that God gave us, Noah said. Oh, life, I ventured. The earth, Ava said dramatically. Right, I thought. Nice meeting you guys, I said, trying to make a fast exit. I walked into the den where Roscoe was sitting. I hadn't seen him take a drink, but I knew he'd been drinking. We'd been dealing with his alcoholism for as long as my memory allowed me to go. I have so many memories of ruined family outings and cleaning up his puke. The history of his alcoholism runs deep. He almost lost his job a couple of times, and once he had to take a long leave of absence without pay. Mom had covered all the bills during that time, and I remember her being worried about losing the house. Hey, Nye, he yelled to me as I walked in. His face was shiny and his eyes were red. I had mixed feelings about him. Sometimes I felt sorry for him. Other times I was angry. I simply stopped wanting to be close to him because of all the pain he caused the family. There comes a time in life when there comes a time in your life with an alcoholic when you feel like enough is enough and you don't want to keep going to someone who isn't, you don't want to keep giving to someone who isn't giving back. Hey, I replied. How you doing at school? He asked cheerfully. He had on a black t-shirt and black jeans. He put his leg up on the ottoman and wiggled his bare toes. Ew. School's fine. My head was feeling light. That's great. You were always good in school. I remember when you were in kindergarten, they wanted to advance you to first grade. Your mama wasn't having it, though. She said she didn't want to put that kind of pressure on you. Your mama always wanted what was best for you, Nye. I always felt there was something special about you. Right, I said as I quickly went up to my room. I had enough. I needed some time to myself because I had agreed to go out to dinner with Carl. I knew that Carl was a nice guy, and to be honest, my love life needed a boost. I started getting ready for my day, enjoying the process of getting dolled up no matter where I'm going. I was excited about hanging out with this guy who thought I was cute. That's what youth is about, right? I agreed to let Carl pick me up, but I told him I'd meet him at his car. She didn't want him coming to the door. When we got to the restaurant, I was in a better mood than I've been in a while. Carl was a perfect gentleman. He opened doors, let me order first, and complimented my outfit. While we examined the menu, Carl turned on the charm. So, he grinned, I'm happy you finally decided to go out with me. I'm glad too, I said. This place has a good wine list. I didn't think I was your type, he teased, his eyes flashing. Oh, I countered, and how would you know what my type is? I don't know, he said, shaking his head. I'm a little more, No, I smiled. I don't know. You're a little more what? Never mind, he said, turning his face to scour the menu. So how do you like living with your parents? He inquired. It's okay sometimes. Lately, I've been wanting to move. When I graduate, I'm going to get a place, I think, I said. I haven't really thought that plan out, but it sounds good. Yeah, me too, he said, looking into my eyes. I live in my mom's, mostly to help her out. She's always drunk. She needs somebody around the house. He went back to looking at his menu. That's nice of you, I said. Where's your dad? Your guess is as good as mine, he huffed. Never met the dude. I hear I look like him, though. Oh, was all I could think to say. After dinner, let's go bowling, Carl said enthusiastically. Is that cool with you? I guess it has to be, I said with a smile. When the waitress came, I ordered a glass of wine. Carl ordered a soda. No drink for you? I said playfully. I won't take advantage of you. Nah, I don't drink. Watching my mom struggle made me decide I would never drink alcohol, and I never did. Probably never will. I remember saying the same thing when I was younger. Are you seeing anybody? I boldly asked. You, he said simply and sincerely. I couldn't help but notice how nice he looked in jeans, a red t-shirt, and casual black jacket. Anybody else? I asked again just to make sure. There is nobody else, he said, totally serious. I like you, and when I like somebody, that's the only somebody I want to see. Hold on, isn't this the first date? It's first date, right? What about you, he inquired. What about me? I said, bashful. Anyone special, he asked. No, I replied. Ah, you failed the test, he said, gesturing with his fork. That's where you were supposed to tell me how special I am. We both laughed. My phone vibrated, and I instinctively checked it. It was a text message from Professor Alexander. This dude, we gotta watch this dude. I texted him earlier in the week to let him know I was still considering this offer. Now he wanted to know if I had decided. According to the text, one of his partners had a niece who was recently unemployed, and his partner wanted to offer the job to her. As I sat there staring at my phone, Carl gave me a funny look. Uh-oh, he said. What? I just lost you to something else. What are you thinking about, he asked. I do have something on my mind, I said, although I had no intention of telling him what it was. I did not feel ready to enter in such a complicated topic with him. You want to talk about it? He urged. Not really, I brushed him off. It's not important. Listen, I'm going to go to the restroom. I abruptly stood up and strolled off. When I got to the restroom, I called Professor Alexander from my cell. I don't know what made me feel that I needed to call him at that moment from the ladies' room, but leaving Carl a bit abandoned. I know why, because there's some fishy stuff going on between the two of you, and you can feel it. That's why you left. Girl, come on now. It was a ridiculous thing to do. Yes, it was. But sometimes I act impulsively. I got his voicemail rather than him, so I left a message. I told him I accepted the job and then I'd go to lunch with him the following Friday. You look nice, I mentioned to Carl when I returned to the table. Thank you, he said. I try. After dinner, we went bowling. Carl was a good bowler, me, not so much. I kept getting gutter balls. After bowling, we went to the marina and walked. Predictably, Carl eventually stopped walking and turned to look at me. I like you, he said, gently holding my hands. I like you too, I replied. He leaned in and kissed me. I kissed him back and it felt good. Wow, he said. It was even better than I thought. What? I asked. Kissing you. Oh, so you've thought about kissing me since the moment I saw you, he said, and kissed me again. It was a wonderful date. When I got home, I plopped down on my bed and saw an appointment postcard from Judy. I had an appointment in a few days, and boy, did I have some news for her. So Judy's the therapist, y'all. So I like Carl. I like where this is going. He seems cool. But this professor guy, I mean, she's in college, so she's of age. But I'm trying to figure this whole thing out. Like the text messages, the lunch, the job offer, you sneaking off to the ladies' room. Like I need to know what is going on here. So far, so good. I like Carl. Tell me what you guys think. What do you guys think about all this? Is fishy or no? Let me know.